Before the winds whispered through the trees, before rivers carved the land, before the fire of the stars was born, there was only one, unseen, eternal, all-encompassing. I am Obatala, guardian of the wisdom of the Orishas, and today I invite you to walk with me through the sacred mist of time, to a moment before time itself existed, to meet the one who began it all, Olodumare. Sit with me, child of the earth, breathe in the silence between my words. And listen, not just with your ears, but with your spirit, because to know Olodumare is to remember your origin. Who is Olodumare? To answer that, you must first empty your cup. Forget what you think a god should look like. Forget temples, statues, and thrones of gold. Olodumare is none of these, and yet Olodumare is the breath within all of them. Olodumare is not a being to be seen, but the very source of seeing, not a name to be spoken lightly, but the silence before the first word. In the Yoruba cosmology, Olodumare is the supreme principle, the origin of all creation, the force behind all movement, the witness to all destiny. The Orishas, powerful as they are emissaries, facets of nature, elements of the divine. They govern the rivers, the winds, the thunder, the fertility of the earth, but even they bow before Olodumare. In fact, it is from Olodumare that each Orisha receives their ace, the sacred energy, the divine command that brings power into motion. Without A's, nothing lives, nothing moves, nothing changes. And who holds the totality of Ace? Only Olodumare. You see, in many Yoruba communities, Olodumare is not worshipped directly. There are no carved images, no offerings placed at feet of stone, because how can you offer something to the one who already holds everything? Worship flows upward, through the Orishas, through the ancestors, through sacred rituals, and reaches Olodumare like mist rising toward the sun. He is honored through the order of life, through balance, justice, integrity, and reverence. You may call upon Sango when your voice must roar, Oshun when your heart seeks sweetness, or Ogun when the path must be carved. But behind every prayer, behind every candle lit, every drumbeat echoed, there is Olodumare, listening in silence. Even in the traditions across the ocean, in the candomblé of Brazil, the Santeria of Cuba, the Vodun of Haiti, though names shift and ceremonies adapt, Olodumare remains, the one who does not change. He is Olorun, the owner of the heavens. Nzambi, Bondi, the great sky creator. No matter the tongue, no matter the land, those who remember their origin, remember him. Olodumare does not walk among men. He does not possess like the Orishas, nor speak through mediums. Yet he is there, in the order of stars, in the rhythm of the rain, in the justice that restores balance, in the breath you just took. And so, when you ask, who is Olodumare? Know this, he is the reason why you can even ask. In the Yoruba tradition, nothing exists outside of order, and at the center of this sacred order is Olodumare. He is not merely a creator who shaped the world and stepped away. He is the source that sustains it, moment by moment. Not a distant architect, but the architect and the breath that keeps the structure standing. To understand Olodumare is to understand that the universe is not random. There is no coincidence in Yoruba cosmology. There is only Ayanmo, destiny, and Olodumare is the keeper of that destiny. Before a soul descends into the world, it kneels before Olodumare to choose its path. This path, full of lessons, trials, love, and pain, is sealed with the breath of the divine. You, child of the earth, are not lost. You walk a road that was known before you were born, and Olodumare watches over every step. This is why Olodumare is called the silent witness. He does not interfere like the Orishas do. He does not block your path or open your doors. He observes, patiently, eternally, as your choices carve your fate. But his presence is not cold. Olodumare is justice, but also compassion. He sees not only what you do, but what you carry, the burdens, the prayers left unspoken, the truths you hide even from yourself. He holds the balance of the world. When harmony is broken, when humans forget their place in the web of life, Olodumare does not strike in wrath. Instead, he allows consequence to teach, because from consequence comes remembrance. This is why in Yoruba ethics everything is relational. To harm another is to disrupt the fabric that Olodumare wove. To honor nature is to honor him. To live with integrity, humility, and balance is to walk in alignment with the divine. In daily life, the role of Olodumare is often quiet. Yet, it is in every corner of the Yoruba world. When the child is born, the elders thank Olodumare. When the rain falls to bless the crops, Olodumare is praised. When death comes, the soul returns not to the Orishas, but to him. Even the Orishas submit to Olodumare. In times of conflict between them, they seek his judgment. Because even the powerful must answer to the one who gave them power. In the diaspora, this role remains intact, though expressed in different ways. In the terreiro, the Ila, the temple, Olodumare may not have a shrine, but his presence is understood as the ceiling under which all else exists. When a devotee dances, sings, prays, or offers, they may not speak Olodumare's name, but every sacred gesture rises like smoke toward him. And so, the role of Olodumare is not just that of creator. He is sustainer, judge, witness, destiny keeper, and above all, presence. Not a presence that demands your attention with thunder or flame, but one that waits in silence for you to notice. Though the names differ across lands, the sacred intuition remains the same, that beyond all creation there is one, a source, a divine intelligence, a presence that gives life its rhythm and meaning. In the sacred teachings of the Yoruba, that source is Olodumare. But if you listen closely to the stories of other peoples, you will hear echoes, not of sameness, but of resonance. In Christianity, he is called God, a being who creates the heavens and the earth, who sees all, judges all, and lives beyond form. Yet unlike many depictions, Olodumare is not a king on a throne, nor a man with a beard watching from above. Olodumare cannot be painted, because he is what allows color to exist. In Hinduism, there is Brahman, the formless, eternal principle that pervades all things. Brahman is not worshipped through form, but through understanding. Just as Olodumare is not sought with eyes, but with the stillness of spirit. In ancient Egypt, the god Atum emerged from the waters of chaos to shape the world with divine intention. Like Olodumare, he was both the first and the whole, the creator who began without being born. In many indigenous traditions across the Americas, there is the concept of Great Spirit, a unifying force that animates the wind, the animals, the people, and the stars. A presence that lives in all things, much like Olodumare, lives within every breath. These comparisons are not to blur the beauty of each tradition, but to show that the human soul recognizes the sacred, no matter where it is born. The heart knows when it meets the origin. It may call it by another name, but it bows just the same. And yet, Olodumare remains uniquely rooted in the Yoruba world. His connection to Ace, to destiny, Ayanmo, to the sacred relationship between humans, Orishas, and nature, cannot be separated from the worldview that gave birth to him. In the diaspora, across Brazil, Cuba, Haiti, and beyond, Olodumare appears under other names, shaped by history, colonization, resistance, and memory. But even when hidden behind saints or whispered in secret, Olodumare was never lost, because the source cannot be forgotten. It only waits to be remembered. So whether you were raised calling him God, or Brahman, or Nzambi, or Bondi, the sacred truth remains. The source is one, the names are many, and the wisdom is eternal. Let me tell you now how it all began. In the beginning there was only the sky, Orun, and the endless waters below, Odo. There was no land, no trees, no humans. Only the silence of the abyss and the will of Olodumare. From the heights of the heavens, Olodumare looked upon the waters, and in his infinite wisdom he decided, "Let there be earth." But Olodumare does not act alone. He entrusts tasks to the Orishas, each with a purpose, each with a sacred mission. And so he called upon me, Obatala. He placed into my hands the tools of creation, a golden chain, a pouch of sacred earth, a 5-toed hen, a black cat, and a chameleon. I descended from the heavens using the golden chain, a divine ladder that shimmered through the sky. Down, down I came, until I hovered above the waters. There I reached into the pouch and gently scattered the sacred earth upon the waters. Then I released the hen. She began to scratch and scatter, spreading the earth with her feet, forming hills, valleys, forests, and plains. The world took shape beneath her movements. To test the firmness of the land, Olodumare sent the chameleon. Step by careful step, his body shifted colors to match the newborn earth. He moved without sinking. The land was solid. The work was complete. I called the place Il Ife, the sacred ground, the birthplace of all things. From there, all life would expand, but even the one who creates can err. In my pride and curiosity, I drank the sweet palm wine before returning to Olodumare. And in that drunken state, I shaped the first humans, but they were imperfect. Some were born with twisted limbs, others without sight or speech. Ashamed, I returned to Olodumare. He did not punish me with anger. Instead, he reminded me, creation is sacred. Never handle it with unclean hands. From then on, it was Orunmila, the Orisha of wisdom and destiny, who guided the creation of human souls, ensuring that each would be born with a purpose. The earth became home to many Orishas. Ogun carved paths through forests with iron. Oshun brought beauty and fertility through her rivers. Sango commanded thunder and fire. Yemanjá gathered the waters and protected the wombs of mothers. And yet, behind them all, Olodumare remained the unseen force, watching with eyes as old as time. Even today, when the earth trembles or the sky roars, we remember the day it all began, the day the hen danced on the waters, the day the chameleon walked on new ground, the day Olodumare gave the world to us. Now that you have heard the story, I ask you, not just to remember it with your mind, but to feel it with your soul. Because this story of earth and sky, of hen and chain, of mistakes and forgiveness, is not just about the past. It is a mirror held up to you, here and now. Olodumare is not a myth to be studied. He is the presence that surrounds you, the stillness behind your thoughts, the breath you did not notice you just took. To know Olodumare is to realize that you are not an accident. You were chosen. You came into this world carrying a destiny, a sacred path woven in the heavens before your feet ever touched the ground. Yes, there is chaos in this world. Yes, pain, injustice, confusion. But even in the darkest moments, Olodumare's hand is not withdrawn. He does not always speak in thunder. Sometimes he whispers through a child's laughter, through the patience of a tree, through the silence after prayer. This is why we must live with balance. To harm others is to tear the fabric Olodumare wove. To walk with honor is to honor him. To seek understanding instead of judgment. To forgive instead of holding poison in your chest. To remember that you are not alone in the universe, but part of a design far greater than you can see. You do not need to climb a mountain to find Olodumare. You only need to become still, and in that stillness, listen. Because the same voice that called the world into being still calls to you. If this message awakened something in your spirit, then it was meant for you. These stories are not only ancient, they are alive. They are the rivers that still flow through your dreams. They are the winds that whisper truths you've long forgotten. And if your heart felt stillness today, if your soul remembered something it didn't know it had forgotten, then you are ready to walk deeper along the sacred path. Honor this wisdom by letting it live on. Share it with those who still walk in silence. Let it reach the ones who are searching. And if you wish to keep learning from the Orishas, from the voice of Obatala, then join us. This space will always be open to you. There is much more to uncover. The story of Ogun, the keeper of iron and progress. Yemanja, mother of oceans and protectress of the womb. Eshu, the messenger between worlds and guardian of the crossroads. So if your spirit is willing, we shall meet again. Until then, walk with reverence, breathe with gratitude, and remember, before anything was, Olodumare was.